From the streets of Kibra, where Omena paid school fees, to global headline on Black Parliament, Allan Ademba, who is more than just a student journalist, but he is a witness, a voice, and a lifeline.
I also feared to let other people die when I could help.
When bullet flew in the Kenyans Parliament on 25th of June 2024, he didn't run, he stayed, he helped, and he told the truth about what happened on the ground. On this episode of Beyond the Headlines, let's get to know more about his journey through courage, conviction, and the power of telling our own stories. Niaje bro?
Niko poa.
Uko fiti?
Niko fiti.
You've been so busy mazee, to find you is not easy.
Uneno ya Kenya.
Okay. Yeah. So now let's talk about a few days ago you went super viral after the BBC exposé. There's a lot of people who praised you as a hero, but very few of them knows about you. Maybe you can just take us way back, where you were born, where you grew up.
Okay, first of all, I'm Ademba. So, born and raised in Kibra.
Okay.
Some time back, and studied in Kibra. Then to say a county somewhere I could do the high school education. Currently, then moved to Mount Kenya University, where I'm doing journalism and mass media communication. Niko 4th year. I'm back in graduation. Yeah.
Okay. So maybe you can just tell us briefly, how was life growing up? Grew up in a family of how many?
Actually, kwetu tuko wengi. Okay, we are over 10 people, but some are deceased. So currently, we are 8. We are 8. So meaning that's the first family ya kwanza. Then plus our wajukuu, mother and whatever. Same to we are 12.
Okay.
Yeah.
So okay.
Also. Been raised by my aunt, say my mom, so Apo Kibra. Okay, most people when they hear the term Kibra, they deem it negative, but that's an exception to me because okay, I'm born and raised in Kibra, but right now I'm here and everybody knows about me. That means there's a positive side to Kibra, and I'm the only person that is going to say that I'm glad to be coming from Kibra, and most people would want to know my background, how let me say, the narrative around Kibra is the negative aspect of it. Or I don't know, Wezi or something, drugs and everything. Okay, that is there, but also positivity is there. That's why I'm still here. That's why I grow up and I'm here right now doing what I love. So me being born and raised in Kibra, my aunt is a very strict parent and the people around me are very strict. Them being strict relates to what I'm doing right now, to who I am right now. So them being strict means that it was little or less difficult for me to find my place in such places like drugs. Yes, drugs are everywhere because drugs, you can get them everywhere when your parents are not there, when your relatives are not there, when your guardians are not there, but you can still get the drugs. But it also comes to you. If you have been raised in a certain way, there's something that you cannot involve yourself with. The drugs are in Kibra, and there's a little to nothing that we can do about it because it has been there for over and over. And the crime is there, and also there's a lot of things we can say, venye watu sema, early teenage pregnancy na vitu kama hizo, kuna hizo shida zote. I'm not trying to refute that, but there's positivity that comes with it because when you're being raised in such a background, you have a choice of making sure that you either make it or you don't make it. So that was my decision. I'm not going to do something that does not translate to who I want to be in future. Yeah.
Now, you've talked about Mount Kenya. What are you doing in Mount Kenya?
At Mount Kenya University, I'm a student journalist. So I'm doing journalism and mass media communication. Started in 2020. Actually, I don't know what I'm doing in school kutoka 2020 hadi sahi, but okay, it's life. I've been there for 5 years, nafanya mass media communication, hopefully graduating this year, but because there's a lot of things. Okay, I'm paying school fees mimi mwenyewe. That can be the main reason. Mimi najilipia school fee kutoka hiyo wakati, no help, no anything, yeah.
Oh, I mean, how is that possible?
Let me just call myself a different kind of human being because I do a lot of things and I try everything. So you find that over time I'll be doing different things. And as long as money is involved, I'll be doing it, but in a positive way. So you find that hiyo wakati nilikuwa nafanya something else. There's a time that nilikuwa nauza samaki to raise the school fee to pay for my studies. There's a time that nilikuwa nauza manguo to raise school fees to pay for my studies. There's a time nilikuwa nauza mayai, you know, so it's around business. Right now, I'm doing something totally different, which I love, that is fashion, and I'm hosting events. Just that, to tell you that coming from Kibra and hosting events in some of the posh places in Kenya, that's also give you a different aspect of it. Yeah, so event is called Vibes and Threads.
Okay, now talking about kuuza mayai na manguo, how financial discipline are you? Because to understand, maybe you don't get much from kuuza nguo, ujilipia school fees, at the same time you maintain your own lifestyle.
Okay, first of all, something like kuuza samaki and mayai and everything, my aunt, you just love to call her my mom. Let me just call her my mom because she's the one who has raised me. Aside from my mom being alive, but I moved in with her, I can raise, so I call her my mom. She used to be a fishmonger until 2017. 2017 I can move Ushago. So meaning 2017 I was in Form 3, so I can yacha Nairobi. Then I finance my adi, some part of the high school. Then tukaanza, not financing the school fee, but now Mimi staying in Nairobi na yako Ushago, and I'm in Form 3 vitu kama hizo until now. So meaning that it's a skill that I got from a long time ago, the business aspect of it. I've been studying it over and over because what your mom does or what your parent do is what you're mostly associated with. Yeah. So it's something that I did over time, and I knew how she was, you know, women with money, how they handle money and things like that. So that's why imenifikisha to the current state I am.
That's interesting. Now, let's talk about what you're pursuing in Mount Kenya. Where did you get the passion to get into mass communication?
I do mass communication with passion, actually. I started it, I think, in Form 2 when I was in Rangala Boys. Form 2, Form 3, I joined communication. It's called the Journalism Club. Yeah, then we started doing those high school journalism, unajua vinzi na kwanga. Then from hapo ikakuja, then I already knew what I wanted to be. Back then kulikuwa na your own journalist, according to Hussein Mohammed. Yeah, that was my idol back then. So nilikuwa najua what I wanted to do all along. So I was trying to study what is supposed to be done. That's why when it came to choosing courses za kufanya university, I knew right exactly what I wanted to do. And I'm glad that after choosing, na hiyo ndo nikaland. Right now I'm doing it.
Okay.
Yeah, with passion.
That's nice. Now, let's talk about the story that brought you in the limelight. The BBC documentary. So many people were fed up with the current regime, and that's why there was that planned demonstrations. And the intentions was very clear. We are tired of this government, and a finance bill was actually the one that fueled those demonstrations. When you wake up that same day, 25th, you go to the street. What are you going to do?
Okay, the finance bill, taking people to the street was just the threshold of what was going to happen, because people have been fed up with the government for the longest time ago. Now, finance bill was just the major catalyst to what was going to happen, or to what happened. Okay, before finance bill, before 25th, there was another demonstration that happened on the 18th of June that led to the death of another young man. That's how people recall it. That is Rex Masai. So me being in the street on 25th of June, because that's what you've asked, I was there as a normal person. I was at Nilikuwa town, CBD, at around 8 in the morning. So being at CBD 8 in the morning, because I wanted to have some first-hand videos of what is happening and what is not happening. I wanted to see how the day will go. And in mind, I just knew it was going to be like another demonstration that happened on 18th. So me recording the videos, I was just there. Hizo vitu zikaanza. I think mashida zilianza kunifuata asubuhi because
you went there as a journalist.
As a journalist, okay. Yeah. I had my badge, press card, then tunapewa shule on, and I had everything. I had my mic, camera, my microphone, and I was doing most of it with my phone, because then again, if you have those things and you are a solo journalist, you know how hard it can be. Yeah. So hapo ndo vitu mingi zilifanyika. No, a lot of videos came out, but I think mashida zilianza kunifuata that day in the morning. Yeah.
So maybe you can just paint for us a very clear picture of how of what happened exactly in the street.
What happened in the street? Yeah. It was more of a, I don't know if you watch movies, it was more like those revolutionary movies, if you watch them. So what happened is, in the morning, because I was there early in the morning, I can narrate, and I can happily narrate. I was there by 8 in the morning. So there was a lot of different factions, people coming from different sides. You know how CBD is. There is another faction that started with that Ronald Ngala Street, yenye natoka inapitia RNG Plaza. Then there was Kenyatta Avenue. And then again, there was Moi Avenue. Like, people came from everywhere. I think people united at Kenyatta Avenue and around GPO. So hapo ndio everything started, and everything was just okay, but numbers were very high compared to the previous demonstrations. So people gathered together, and I think as time went by, things started escalating. And you know, people had the same goal, the sole goal of going to the parliament. That is what took people there, because there were those voting of passing the finance bill that was going to happen on 25th of June, and it happened, and it was passed, if you remember correctly. And I think by 2, that's when things now started to get serious. But before 2, people had already been injured. Some had been rushed to the hospital. Some had had fatal injuries and things like that.
Now, you're covering demonstrations like starting from 18th to all the way to 25th.
No, I did it past 25th. I went up to Nane.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, when you saw the blood spilled on the floor of the parliament of very young people, these are Kenyans who are agitating for their rights. How did that make you feel?
Blood of innocent people being spilled at the parliament, the area around the parliament, not inside the parliament. Okay, that was one of the most absurd or most dark times that Kenya were in, 25th of June, because, you know, these are innocent protesters, these are people's sons, these are people's brothers, this is somebody's husband, and some people's, let me say, even relatives. You see them die because they went to protest for better governance, for transparency, for accountability, and for them to have a better future when it comes to things like policy making and for a better country. That was very absurd and very dark for me, actually, to see those people there, and very emotional at the same time, because these are people who are alive like 2 minutes ago. Now they're dead. You're watching their bodies on the street.
How did you switch from being a journalist to becoming on the other side, saving the young people?
Let me just tell you one thing. Humanity does not have notice, does not come with notice. For you to do a humane thing, you don't need a notice to do it. So I was there. I could have been shot, and I could just run away like any other person, because journalists against were on the other side where the police were, for them to avoid being shot. Yeah. So the best thing that I could have done at that moment was run away. But when humanity calls, you have to do what is most humane. You are there, you are alive, somebody is calling you, usiniache hapa, because he's been shot on the leg, there's nothing that he can do. What can you do? Just help him, because, okay, I was also banking on my press card, because it was more visible. I think the police were saying that, okay, this guy is a media personality. And I also had the Kenyan flag that I was raising up. So I don't know, when I'm narrating it, it does not look like how it was in the street, but that is what happened. I was just banking on maybe the press card, and also I think it's adrenaline rush or something, because you don't know what is happening. I did know that I could be shot, and thank God I'm still here. I came out alive, yeah. Okay,
so after the BBC expose, how has been your social life, maybe interacting with people? Now you are in the limelight.
I think to some extent I can say that this, the fame ends online, because I can walk here freely, but I cannot walk freely at the center, because you have to be checking your back. You don't know who's coming after you, because everybody is telling you to stay safe. The government might be coming after you in the next few minutes. So, but on the other side, it has also bring me to the better part of life, because, okay, now people have recognized or know what you're doing. People are noticing what you have been doing all along, but nobody was giving you that voice. Yes, I had a following. I had a very big following before the BBC protest. I had like my monthly views in different platforms was over millions, but nobody really knew me. Yeah, but now, right now, people know you. People are giving you voice, and I really love that.
Have you at any point been threatened or maybe received very strange calls?
No. You know, Kenyans are very strange people. They themselves, they can just call to threaten you. And you can just tell that this is a fake person pretending to be a DCI officer, because there's no way a DCI will call you and tell you, okay, this is DCI, we are coming after you. You just know this is somebody mwenye amekosa kitu ya kufanya na kupigia. But I can say that there's little to no little threat that I've gotten. And okay, I know that some people might be wanting to threaten me, or some people might be coming after me. Because, okay, there's something that I've been noticing that I will not say. That just clearly shows that somebody is after you. Yeah.
Okay, now lastly, also, what are you currently doing?
Currently, financially, shule, I don't know, because like, that's a very broad question.
Apart from journalism.
Oh, I really love that question because people don't get to know the Ademba beside the Blood Parliament and beside the BBC documentary, beside the all protest thing. So me on the side, I do a lot of things. Currently, I'm focusing on my event. I'm doing events. I'm doing corporate events. I started it last year. It's called Vibes and Thread, happening on 14th of June, that is next month, at Vibanda Village. So Vibes and Thread is a fashion creation hub that mostly bring together people in the fashion industry and focusing on art, music, and artistry in all aspects of life. So we do it and we sell tickets online. I'm happy that people buy tickets because the first one, we had over 150 people at Silver Springs Hotel, Hurlingham. That was a very good turnout, and I'm really banking on people coming for the next one. And people can check them online. They're a very good one. And we have the vision of maybe one day becoming at the Met Gala level. Yeah.